New images this evening from inside the terror attack in London. A clearer portrait of what happened there. People running for their lives, 3 attackers using that van to plow into pedestrians and then jumping out of the van armed with knives. And this new surveillance video tonight showing a restaurant manager holding the door there on the left as the attackers are pushing from the outside, armed with their knives, trying to get inside. ABC's chief foreign correspondent Terry Moran from London tonight.
Tonight, newly released security camera video reveals the traumatic moments of terror up close. Watch as this restaurant manager hustles people inside. He and patrons barricade the door, close the front windows. One woman peering out sees the attackers, turns and runs. The manager lets more people in and then watch. You can see the attackers approach, trying to enter. A terrifying tug-of-war begins as the manager guards the doorway and forces the door shut just as one of the machete-wielding attackers tries to get inside. A second angle shows the manager holding the door as the attacker pushes. Patrons eventually peeking outside to see if all is clear. And this.
Police is shooting. I'm trying to keep myself safe.
Photographer Gabriele Sciotto caught outside on the street as police open fire on the attackers. Other officers move in, people fleeing the scene. Those moments coming during the 18 minutes of terror that seemed an eternity. At 9:58 p.m., the attack begins. That white van runs off the road on London Bridge, starts ramming pedestrians. At the south end of the bridge, 3 men with long knives get out and start slashing and stabbing people. At 10:08, police are called to the scene, and by 10:16 p.m., all 3 attackers are dead outside the Wheatsheaf pub, their phony suicide vests failing to keep police at bay. 50 shots fired by 8 officers. Today, the people of London walked back to work on that very bridge amid a show of force by police across the central city and new barricades protecting the sidewalks on several bridges. And we are learning more about the victims. 30-year-old Canadian Chrissy Archibald, who died in her fiancé's arms after being struck by the white van. Her family releasing a statement urging people to volunteer at homeless shelters as a tribute to her, saying, "Tell them Chrissy sent you." London mourned them all tonight at a vigil in Potter's Field. Mayor Sadiq Khan, the first Muslim elected to the office, hurling defiance at the terrorists.
As a proud and patriotic British Muslim, I say this: you do not commit these disgusting acts in my name.
Many here expressing the wound this whole city has suffered.
You know, it's not just the victims, it's everyone else, it's the whole community, it's everyone here.
British Prime Minister Theresa May saying this:
we cannot go on as we are. Enough is enough.
Our chief foreign correspondent Terry Moran joining us live tonight on the London Bridge at the scene of the attack. And Terry, Prime Minister Theresa May was pressed today, asked if these 3 terror attacks in just the last 3 months were in fact related.
And David, she said they are not linked by a common network, but that they are bound together by what she called a single evil ideology of Islamic extremism. And she added in a comment that has drawn praise and criticism, there is far too much tolerance for extremism in Britain. David?
Terry Moran live in London for us again tonight. Terry, thank you.
In New York City. Rick?
Shepard, I've spoken to multiple law enforcement sources. This information is preliminary. We can't confirm the numbers, but I'm being told by multiple law enforcement sources that there are, in fact, multiple fatalities from this incident. One source tells me that the suspect entered the bike lane at Houston Street along the West Side Highway there, entered the bike lane at Houston Street and drove his pickup truck down that bike lane, striking pedestrians and people on bikes, all the way to Chambers Street, where there are reports that he got out of the vehicle and began firing a weapon. There are, again, reports of fatalities. I'm told there may be fatalities from this truck hitting people on bicycles. There may be fatalities from the shooting. There's still officers on the scene trying to sort this out. But again, officers telling me that the suspect is in custody and that the bomb squad is now checking out the vehicle to make sure that it's not booby-trapped in some way with explosives. So they have located the suspect, located his vehicle, and are now tending to the injured and apparently perhaps wounded along that path of carnage as it's being described.
Yeah, it is being described by the New York Post, which is owned by the parent company, or with which this company shares common ownership, as a bloodbath in Lower Manhattan. I will caution, because I feel like caution is the right thing to do, that we all working in this building remember that immediately around the corner from here, and it wasn't that long ago, there was a vehicle which took a turn into a pedestrian area of Midtown and literally appeared to be a terrorist mowing down tourists and a few locals. As it turned out, that person was a drunk driver going the wrong way on a one-way street, and as awful as that was, it was not an attack on this city or on anything else. This person, we believe Rick's information is accurate. Again, developing stories change. They change from police, they change from witnesses, largely, especially when the area is so big. If Rick's report, these are live pictures now, if Rick's reporting is correct, and we have no reason to doubt it, you make this turn there and drive. I've been trying to describe this pathway for you. It's more like a small alley-sized bike path. It's as wide as a small street, with lanes for bikes in both directions and room for runners on either side. It's a wide thing. It's protected with immediate, you can see it. There's the median there that I'm talking about. Where all those cops are saying, that's a bike path. It's not a street, it's a bike path. So somebody turned onto that bike path in a truck. From Rick's reporting, this person hit pedestrian after pedestrian, hit bikers, according to witnesses on scene. This report of the truck, the argument with the truck, that could well have happened as someone else was trying. We just don't know every single detail, but we do know that